Okay, now we're on to question 12 on the exam 1 review sheet. Okay, question 12 is about bottles of perfume in a bag. There are 12 bottles of perfume in a bag. 3 of the perfumes are Chanel. Okay, so we have 12 bottles of perfume and 3 of the perfumes are Chanel. What this means is that the probability of Chanel would be 3, because there are three Chanel perfumes, over 12, because there are 12 bottles in the bag. Okay? And if that's the probability of Chanel, then the probability of non-Chanel would be 9 over 12. Okay? Because if 3 of the bottles are Chanel, that means the remaining 9 bottles must be non-Chanel. Okay, then it tells us 2 perfumes are selected without replacement. Now, they're selected without replacement, so this means the events are dependent. Okay? And guys, you need to remember that 2 perfumes being selected, it means 1 by 1. Okay, and we talked about that a lot in class. Every class, we've talked about that, every section that I teach. Okay, so what's the probability that both are Chanel? That means that perfume 1 will be Chanel and perfume 2 will be Chanel. So it's asking for probability that Chanel will be the first one that we choose and Chanel will be the second one that we choose. Okay, so let's slot in our probabilities. The probability that we're going to get Chanel on the first try is 3 over 12. We know that and means multiply. Okay, now because it's without replacement, when we took one Chanel perfume out and we didn't put it back. So in the bag there are now only 2 Chanels left. Okay? And the total number of perfumes, I don't know why this stylus does that, 2, and the total number of perfumes in the bag has gone down to 11. Okay, that's because this experiment is being done without replacement. Okay? So then to get the answer, we just multiply across. The answer will be 6 or 132. Okay, now the next question asks us what's the probability that one is Chanel and the other is not. Okay, now what you need to recognize about this is an order not specified problem. Okay, so there are 2 ways we could get a Chanel perfume and a non-Chanel perfume. Okay, we could choose the Chanel perfume first and the non-Chanel second. Okay, but we could also choose the non-Chanel first and the Chanel second. Okay, because they didn't tell us the order things had to happen. Okay, so there are 2 mutually exclusive ways. I'll write that here. There are 2 mutually exclusive ways to satisfy the event. Okay, we could do it this way, Chanel first and non-Chanel second, or we could do it this way, non-Chanel first and Chanel second. So what we have to do, we have to find the probabilities of these 2 mutually exclusive ways of satisfying the experiment. Okay, so the probability that we're going to get Chanel first is 3 over 12. And means times. Okay, and then the chance we're going to get non-Chanel second. Okay, we chose a Chanel one first. So there are still 9 non-Chanels in the bag. But the total number of perfumes in the bag has gone down to 11. Because we already took 1 bottle out and we did not replace it. Okay? So if we multiply this across, it's going to come to 27 over 132. Now let's calculate the other way of satisfying the event. Okay, the probability of getting non-Chanel first, non-Chanel, before we take anything out of the bag is 9/12, and means times. Okay, the chance of getting Chanel second, okay, we took a non-Chanel out, so there are still 3 bottles of Chanel in the bag, but the total number of perfumes has gone down to 11. Okay, and again, we'll just multiply those across. Okay, now the final step of this problem, you know, this is a big signal, this word or. We can satisfy the event this way or this way. So what we have to do at the end to get an accurate probability is to add the 2 probabilities for the two mutually exclusive ways. Okay? And we will get 54 over 132. That's the final answer. Okay, so this question, you know, as I've explained in class, this is an A student question. Okay, I do put some questions on my exams that really only A students are able to solve. So that's question 12, and we'll go on in the next video to other questions.